Hey guys, Alex the chiropractor here, and welcome to the program. Today what I'm going to talk about is what everybody ought to know about fats. I'm going to go in depth here as far as dietary fat and really clear up what's going on so you have a clear idea of what all the fats are, whether they're good or bad, and I'm going to set everything straight for you. So fats fall into a category of molecules called lipids. And I'm going to talk about all the lipids here. And the first category is a group called phospholipids. And these are a component of cell membranes. I'm not really going to go in depth here, but just know that's one of the main categories. Okay, cholesterol. Large topic of conversation, large topic of controversy. Cholesterol is a component of cell membranes and a precursor to estrogen, testosterone, and other hormones. Cholesterol is carried through the body by two primary transport mediums, high-density lipoproteins and low-density lipoproteins. Now these LDLs and HDLs are commonly referred to as bad and good cholesterol. Now know that they're not really good or bad in and of themselves. What they are, they're transport mechanisms. They carry cholesterol and other fats around the body. Now, high-density lipoproteins are commonly referred to as the good cholesterol. And people look at them that way because they carry cholesterol and fats away from our tissues to our liver for metabolism. And LDLs get a bad rap because they carry cholesterol and fats to the tissue. And high levels of this molecule may often indicate systemic inflammation and tissue damage. Now, they don't get raised willy-nilly, and they're not really bad in and of themselves. The body elevates the level of cholesterol in our body in response to some sort of trigger, some sort of irritant. And often that occurs in response to having high blood sugar, or perhaps eating a lot of dietary fat, which I'll go into in a little bit, because not all fat is good, some is bad, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But just know that you want to be aware of what's causing high cholesterol. I see a lot of people put on statin drugs, which is meant to lower the level of LDLs, and they go about having the same type of lifestyle, the same type of risk factors that cause your LDLs to be elevated. The same type of systemic irritation is still going on. They don't change their diet, they don't change their lifestyle, and you can't look to drugs as being a solution. Now, if you have genetic hypercholesterolemia, you might want to talk to your doctor about that. That might warrant some sort of management, but generally I see it overprescribed. You want to look at the cause and not the effect, not the response of the body. All right, and the group of lipids we commonly consider fats are known as triglycerides. Triglycerides are a molecule made of three fatty acids attached to a glycerol molecule. And what's a fatty acid? Well, a fatty acid is the building block of fat, and that exists either as saturated or unsaturated. And for you nerds out there that want to know a little bit more about what this means, saturated fat means that every carbon atom in the chain, in the fatty acid, is bound to as many hydrogen atoms as possible. And unsaturated fatty acid means some of the carbons are double bonded to each other, so they can't accept the maximum number of hydrogen atoms. And saturated fats come from animal fats and some plant fats, like cocoa butter, used in chocolate. Cocoa beans, they have some saturated fats. Now, saturated fats are not bad for you. They aren't the bad guy they are made out to be. What you do need to be aware of are other oils that come along with the animal fat. You got to be conscious of the source. I'll get into it a little bit later, but if you're getting saturated fat from an animal that's eating its natural diet, the other fats that it has are going to be beneficial to you. They're going to be in a good omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. I'm going to go into that a little bit later, but commercially raised livestock is inflammatory. The oils in there will cause inflammation and a elevation of LDLs in your body. But saturated fat in and of itself is not bad. All right, your unsaturated fats. Now, these are generally thought of as the good fats. And we have polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. And monounsaturated fats include omega-7 and omega-9. And these are generally pretty good fats. Oleic acid found in olive oil and avocados and almonds, pretty good. Omega-9, palmitoleic acid found in macadamia nuts, also pretty good, of course. Don't let this information, when I say, you know, animal fats are not that bad, or not, you know, not bad for you. Omega-7, omega-9 are good. Don't go overboard. It doesn't mean that they should make up a huge part of your diet. They're important to get, but don't go and eat a gallon of olive oil or a pound of bacon a day. All right, polyunsaturated fats. Now, these are really the good ones. These are the omega-3 and omega-6. Now, it's important to balance the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. Now, both are important. Both have essential fatty acids we need to eat. Omega-3 essential fatty acid is the alpha-linolenic acid, and omega-6 is linoleic acid. But know that there is an inflammatory omega-6 fatty acid called arachidonic acid. And when you're eating a lot of commercially raised meats, commercially raised livestock like beef and pork, the arachidonic acid, there's going to be a lot of it. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is going to be really high in those foods. And for general guidelines, you want to keep the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio low, under 4:1 for best health. A lot of Western diets have 10:1, 15:1, and even higher. And saturated fat, while you know there's not a real concrete link between saturated fat intake and heart disease, fat from commercially raised livestock is going to be inflammatory, and you want to avoid that. If you eat animals that are eating their natural diet, the fat profile, the lipid profile, is going to be very similar to eating fish. It's going to be very high in omega-3 acids, which is good. It's going to have a lot of EPA and DHA. These are really the super fats, eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. Of course, we know that they're found in fish. That's why fish oil is a big supplement. It lowers your inflammation levels. It has also a lot of benefit to heart health and mental health. And it's also found in grass-fed livestock. Avoid commercially raised pork and beef because their omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is off the charts. Commercially raised pork has like a 90:1 omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And that's something you want to avoid. If you want to eat bacon, get it from wild boar or free-range pigs. And a wild boar has a very much improved omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, according to a study, and I'll put that in the description. It doesn't have information for free-range pork, but I got to assume that if the pig is eating its natural diet, it's able to root, its lipid profile is going to be better. Grass-fed livestock, like grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter, really great omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Grass-fed butter, I believe, is 1:1, which is phenomenal. And grass-fed beef is like 2:1. But those are great choices. If you're going to eat animal fat, make sure it's eating the animal that you eat is able to eat its natural diet. And one thing I see a lot of people doing these days is the craze for bulletproof coffee. People are putting a lot of grass-fed butter in your coffee. Now, you want to be smart about this. If you put 40, 50 grams of fat in your butter, it's going to raise your triglyceride levels, and that's not going to be good for business. So use your head. If you want to put a little bit, hey, that's fine. Use as much as you'd put half and half in your coffee. You're not going to put half a cup of half and half. You're going to put like half a tablespoon. So if you put half a tablespoon of butter in there, of grass-fed butter, it'll give you a nice creaminess, but it's not going to overload you with fat. Have a sensible breakfast. But omega-3, you want to be conscious of the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in your diet. That's crucial. So to summarize, cholesterol, it's not good or bad. It's raised or lowered due to other factors, and you want to look for the cause what is causing an elevation of LDLs and address that rather than trying to suppress them with drugs, generally speaking. Triglycerides, made of fatty acids. There's two types, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated fats are not bad for you if the animals that you're eating are eating their natural diet. So if the cows are eating grass, if the pork is free range, generally it's going to be good for you. Unsaturated fat, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated. Monounsaturated, pretty solid. Good to eat, don't overdo it. Polyunsaturated, omega-6 and omega-3. Omega-6, be conscious of that. Don't overdo it. Don't eat commercially raised livestock. Omega-3, fish, grass-fed livestock. Excellent, excellent, excellent. It lowers inflammation levels and improves mental health. So, you know, I love making videos. I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I like making them. And I hope that if it benefited you, please send it along. If you want to get more info, more health tips, more health articles, go to my website, www.chiropractic-advantage.com. Like and subscribe to me on YouTube. You'll get new health videos periodically. Please like and subscribe. And like me on Facebook. I deliver some information on Facebook too, so don't miss out. Like me on there. I'll include links in the description. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.